I thought I closed that trade because of a technical reason. Price hit resistance. Momentum slowed. The smart move was to get out. But hours later, I opened my journal, and I wrote something I didn't expect. I exited because I felt uncomfortable holding a winner. And beneath that, a sentence that shocked me. I don't know how to enjoy good things without waiting for them to disappear. That line hit like a punch to the chest. Because suddenly, it wasn't just about the chart. It was about my childhood. My dad left when I was 8. No warning. No explanation. One day he was there. The next, gone. And that's when it clicked. I wasn't exiting trades early because of market conditions. I was exiting because I didn't trust good things to stay. Trading wasn't just showing me patterns. It was showing me patterns inside myself. And that's what this video is about. Not just the market, but the mirror. Because sometimes the chart is not your enemy. It's your reflection. Most traders think they're reacting to the market, but often they're reacting to themselves. It just looks like the market. You see a pattern on the chart, but it's really a pattern inside you. Something you've done before, felt before, believed before, and without knowing it, you act it out again. Maybe you keep closing winners too early. Maybe you overtrade when you're up. Maybe you take setups you swore you wouldn't. And every time, you say the same thing afterward. I knew I shouldn't, but I did it anyway. That phrase is not a mistake. It's a pattern, a signal, a breadcrumb trail back to something deeper. And if you follow it, you'll often find a wound. Tom Hoogard found his. He noticed he kept cutting winning trades right when they started to run. At first, he thought it was fear of reversal, but when he checked his journal, he saw the same note over and over again. Don't trust it. Take the money before it's gone. Better safe than sorry. Then one day, he wrote something that didn't come from trading at all. Dad left without saying goodbye. And that's when it clicked. He wasn't afraid of the market reversing. He was afraid of being abandoned by something that felt good. His nervous system had learned a story. If something feels good, it's probably not going to last. So he'd sabotage it just to stay in control. And here's the truth. Most traders don't lose because they lack strategy. They lose because they don't recognize. When old pain is steering the ship, but the market sees it, and if you're paying attention, it'll show you. The question is, are you willing to look? Because what comes next isn't just about trading. It's about the one tool that can show you what's really going on inside. Let's talk about that. My journal knew me before I did. It sounds strange, I know, but it's true, because while I was busy trying to fix my trades, my journal was quietly tracking my behavior, my triggers, my fears, my lies, and eventually it showed me a pattern no indicator ever could. It started with a sentence that kept showing up, week after week. I knew I shouldn't, but I did it anyway. 47 times in 1 year. Different trades, different setups, same sentence. I ignored it at first, laughed it off, thought it was just self-talk. But then I started digging deeper, and what I found was a map of my nervous system. There were notes like, feeling angry today, took a trade just to release the pressure, entered too big because I fell behind this week, rushed the exit because I didn't want to feel hope. None of those trades were about strategy. They were about emotion, and the journal didn't judge. It just recorded. Day after day, it captured who I was, beneath the charts. And that's when it hit me. Maybe journaling isn't just a trading tool. Maybe it's therapy. Maybe it's the only place where I tell the truth before I even know what that truth is. Because most people don't get honest until things fall apart. But the journal listens in real time. It gives you a mirror you can't swipe away, a voice that doesn't yell, just reflects. And over time, those reflections change you. Not all at once, but slowly, steadily. With each entry, you start to see the patterns you've been living inside, and you start to realize the biggest enemy in trading is not volatility. It's unconscious repetition. And the only way to break it is to see it clearly. So let's wrap this up with the one practice that changed everything for me. I call it the emotional autopsy. Here's the truth. Every trade leaves a trail, not just in your broker history, but in your nervous system. And if you don't track it, it tracks you. That's why I started doing what I call an emotional autopsy. After every trade, win or lose, I write down 3 things. What I felt before the trade, what I felt during the trade, what I felt right after. That's it. No fancy metrics. No deep analysis. Just feeling. Because sometimes a $200 loss is really about feeling disrespected. Sometimes a $500 win is just a way to feel valuable. And until you name it, you can't change it. The journal becomes your emotional lab. Your patterns become clear. And slowly, you stop reacting. You start responding. You stop hiding behind setups. You start healing through them. So if the market's been showing you things you're not ready to face, maybe it's time to stop running and start writing. Try the emotional autopsy for 7 days. After each session, write what you felt, not what you did. Then come back to this video and comment, "This market is my mirror," because it is. And if you're brave enough to look, really look, you'll find something deeper than strategy. You'll find yourself.